Hi, welcome to episode 90 of The Corner of Knit and Tea. I'm Laura, also known as Fluffy K on Ravelry, Fluffy Kira on Instagram and Twitter. I blog over at thecornerofknitandtea.com, and that's where this episode and every episode's show notes will be. I have an Etsy shop called The Stash Buckler Adventures in Yarn, and we have a Ravelry group called The Corner of Knit and Tea. Hi, how are you? It is Monday, May 30th. It is a holiday here in the United States, so I am off this today, which gives me a 3-day weekend. And I held off recording because I was hoping to have a little bit more done, and also because we have not been home at all this weekend. And today is kind of my home day to craft and catch up on all sorts of things. It has been well, the weather has been not great this week. We have had tons of storms and tornado watches and all kinds of things rolling through. But this weekend has been lovely. On Saturday, we went out and I watched my husband drone race, and we were out for most of the day. And then yesterday was a spinning Sunday. So I am part of a spinning group that meets once a month. And yesterday was the day, so we carpooled out to Topeka, which is about an hour and a half from my house, and we had a wonderful afternoon, and I plied a spin and started my next spin, which was really exciting. I'm hoping to get more of that done today. And now today is the day to catch up on everything. I am doing laundry, I will have to go grocery shopping, and otherwise I am just hoping to catch up on podcasting and some crafting today. So let's get started. I brewed up a pot of tea this morning and made it iced. The tea, I don't have any fancy packaging. It is ginger peach. I ordered it from Kelly's Teas, and Kelly's Teas, they have a variety of teas, including ginger peach. But one of the options is that you can get a package of whatever the day's blends are. And they all come in these little 1 ounce, I think these are 1 ounce samples. And so I ordered a package of that, and it is like 8 or 10 teas that are 1 ounce samples of whatever they were blending that day. So I decided to take that and turn it into a pitcher of iced tea. So today's is ginger peach from Kelly's Teas, and I have it in my Minions mug, and it is delicious. It is really nice, lots of ginger and a little bit of peach, and then I put just a smidge of sugar in it, and so it's really nice. I think I made probably about six cups of tea with an ounce. I sort of eyeballed it because I'm not really sure. It just looked like the perfect size to go into the filter in my pitcher mug, and I thought that would be a nice thing. So I'll do more of these in the coming weeks. I sorted my tea stash this morning. There's a lot to drink and get through. And I keep ordering more because I want to review new teas on the blog. So, there'll be lots to talk about in the future. So, let's get going with the knits. I feel like I'm rushing through here, but lots to talk about and to see. So, I have had a really great weekend so far in terms of finishing things. On Friday night, I finished my Beach Cove shawl, which I'm calling my Party Cove shawl. This is the Beach Cove shawl by Ann Podlesak. I was knitting it for our shawl knit along that is joint in our group, and if you want to enter that, tomorrow is the last day. So knit like the wind and finish your shawls, and feel free to enter them. We will be drawing for prizes this week. I, of course, will not be eligible for prizes, but I wanted to knit a shawl, and it is finished, and it came out pretty much exactly like I wanted it to. The yarn is my hand spun. It is from 2 If by Hand. It was a beautiful braid called Freak Show, and it was all different kinds of pinks, and then at the end it had a whole bunch of teals. I used about right around 600 yards of this. It's probably a fingering weight, and I adjusted the shawl just a little bit because it's probably closer to a lace weight, and I adjusted the shawl just a little bit because it calls for fingering weight, but this came out huge. It is really, really wide. I have really, really long tails. Basically what I did was I just repeated some extra sections and then did the lace edging at the end with a beautiful picot bind off, which took forever, but I love the way it looks. So this is going to be one of my new favorite light shawls for the summer because it is very lightweight, but it is soft and beautiful and bright colors, and I think will jazz up an outfit. Again, I'm not eligible for prizes, but I wanted to show it off, and I will be posting pictures. And again, that is the Beach Cove Shawl by Anne Podlesak. So that is my first finished object for this week, and my first entry into Stash Dash. I am going to play along with the Knit Girls, and I have not set a goal yet. Last year I have done 10,000 meters in the past. Last year I tried to do 10,000 meters and came up just a little short. I was at 9,500, I think. So I am not setting a goal yet. I'm just going to work and see what I get close to, and then towards the end of the summer I will pick a category to get into. So that is my first finish. My second finish was on Saturday at the drone races. I finished my socks, and you know I had really wanted to do that. These are the Vanilla is the New Black Socks pattern by Annie Fletcher. It is basically a vanilla sock with a very interesting heel turn. I knit these on my Addy flip sticks, size 0. The yarn is Show Me Yarns, which is a wonderful yarn company that came to our local convention. And it is the boot heel base, which I believe is a merino nylon, and these are the Aunt Gigi colorway. Sorry, I'm trying to think of all the things. They match pretty well. I was off by just a couple rows. I think I started one of the toes, the second toe, I think I started it a little too soon. But otherwise I was able to make them pretty much match. The only place they don't match is the heels. Which I used the other end of the ball, so just on the heel turn, so that is why the heel turns don't match. But otherwise, they are really, really close for pretty much everything else, and I am super happy with them, although I will say that it is starting to be in the 80s, so it is not sock weather, so these are probably going to get put in my sock drawer with a after I take a pretty picture, and will wait for me for fall. So those are the two things that I finished this week. The third thing that I've been working on, I didn't bring it to show you because I haven't done that much, is Hilda. Since I am playing along in a variety of things, knit-alongs and things that don't start till June 1st, I have a couple days to kill. So I put a collar on Hilda. It still needs a sleeve, and then I need to pull out the bottom and make it longer. I don't know if I'll finish that today and tomorrow, but that is what I'm planning to work on. I also need 3 more squares on my blanket before it is 100 squares. So I was thinking those two things should keep me busy tonight and tomorrow night. And then on Tuesday, June 1st, I can go ahead and cast on for a few more things. And so I decided to bring some of what I want to cast on for so that I could show you. The first thing that I'm going to do is I talked about Camp Loopy because Sherry is a genius and makes me want to buy yarn and knit projects. The first project for Camp Loopy is featuring some kind of technique. The theme this year is pirates, and so Sherry suggested that the first project needs to be something that features a technique like Lace Lagoon, Brioche Beach, various other kinds of little alliterations featuring varied techniques. And the other requirement is that the project have a minimum of 400 yards. So I thought about what I wanted to do. As you know, I'm going to be doing a lot of baby knitting this summer, but sadly, baby knitting is not going to give me 400 yards. So I went ahead and searched through a variety of things that I wanted to do for myself, figuring maybe I could get a nice piece of the wardrobe. And I found the beautiful Dream in Color Shrug. And this is by Kay Dahlquist. And it is a really pretty pattern that calls for 2 skeins of Dream in Color Classy, and as you can see, it's got some ribbing, and then it's a lace shrug, and I thought that would be really nice to combat the air conditioning chill this summer. So that is the pattern that I have selected, and the yarn that I selected was Dream in Color Classy in the color Rio Verde, which is kind of interesting. The monitor is not showing it the best. It's called Rio Verde, but I think it's it's really very Tiffany blue, which I don't know if that's, it looks a little bit paler or a little bit more like sky blue on the monitor, but it's definitely got a hint of that turquoise in it, but I don't think it really looks like a green river. But I will take some pictures on Instagram, and I am about to cake these up after I record, and then Tuesday, June 1st, I will be casting on for this, and I am super excited for a quick worsted weight little shrug that I'll be able to wear this summer. So I'm very happy I picked this color because it is unlike anything I own. I'm a teal person, I'm a burgundy person, I'm a jewel tone person, and I do not have anything that is the color of a beautiful, cool swimming pool or a Tiffany's box, and so I decided that that's what this was going to be for myself. So I'm branching out a little bit and knitting a shrug in some colors that I don't normally use. So that was the plan for Camp Loopy. I also want to enter Amanda's Socket to Summer. Amanda is wit, and her podcast is Not a Podcast. She also goes by So Nitpicky on Twitter and Instagram. And I have been dying to knit a pair of socks for a while. And I am sort of combining all kinds of new things. One is a pattern. I really like the wedge pattern by Cookie A, and it needed something, at least a semi-solid. I did see it done with a variegate, but I think it's just a bunch of wedges created by some short rows, and I thought it was an interesting construction. I saw a pair of some of them not that long ago and thought, wow, I just want to knit those. And I have been planning this for a while. The yarn that I am going to use was a skein that I received in the Knitting Expat swap, and it is from my friend Maya in Sweden, and she hand dyed this yarn, and it's a little hard for you to see. It is a bunch of different shades of blues, and there's a little bit of purple in here, and it is a gorgeous skein. It is an 80/20 superwash wool nylon. She calls it corner blue, 100 grams, 400 meters, and I am super excited to cake this one up and start. And the other new thing that I'm going to try with these socks is I want to try knitting the socks in tandem. As you know, I usually knit one sock and then the other. And part of that is because for a while now, I have favored my US signature needles, and I only have one set of those. So I decided that I wanted to try some new needles and also try knitting in tandem. So I ordered a couple of the Knit Pro Zings, and I decided that I wanted to try these. I ordered them in US 1, which is US 1.5, which is 2.25 millimeters. And I have 2 sets of those, and I have 2 needle cozies, and I am going to wind that ball of sock yarn and divide it in half, and I am going to work on these together. And I thought actually that would be a great way to do this pattern, because I can do a bunch of the little sections of the pattern and move back and forth between the socks, so I keep track of what I am doing. So that's socks and a shrug for my first 2 projects of the month. I have other projects planned, hopefully a couple baby things and a charity hat. I am not joking around with the summer knits, but I thought I would show you the first 2 that I'm going to cast on this week, and that you will see a little bit on next weekend when I podcast. A couple things. While I'm thinking about it. First of all, a brief review on sock needles. I love my US signatures. I have US 1.5s, 2.25. They are my absolute favorite sock needles so far, or double pointed needles to knit socks on. What I found in my last pair of socks, though, was that the socks were coming out huge. I don't know if my gauge has changed or exactly what's going on. It might have just been the yarn or the pattern. I will have to sort of keep tabs on it. So I have, so in particular for the last socks, I went ahead and ordered a set of Addy flip sticks, and I meant to bring them so I could just hold them up, but I ordered a set of Addy flip sticks in US 0s, and I used those to knit my last socks. And my review of them is very middle of the road. I didn't dislike them. I didn't love them. I liked them. I knit with them. They were fine sock needles. The metal was nice because I tend to bend I tend to have trouble with bending needles if they're too small, particularly if I use bamboo, so I needed the metal. The metal was fine. The thing about the flip sticks is that they have one sharp pointy end and one slightly duller end. To me, I have to say that didn't really matter. And I might actually like the slightly sharper end a little bit more. It's not that either end stopped me from doing what I wanted to do, but for me, for my knitting, I didn't see the point of having the differed endings. So they were perfectly serviceable needles. I did not love them like I love my signatures, but I don't have anything bad to say about them. So that's sort of my review on the Addies. I am very, very interested in seeing how I feel about the Zings. So I will work with those on my next sock project, and then I will get back to you on how I feel about those. The second thing while I'm thinking about it is I just mentioned what I would show you in progress on the podcast next weekend. We are going out of town for a little bit next weekend. There is a drone racing not too far away, and so I don't know exactly when I'm going to get a recording in next week. So it may be a little bit early or it may be a little bit late, but I just wanted to let you know that it's a little up in the air. I will definitely record. I just don't know. I may end up recording on Friday, in which case I won't have a lot to show you. So I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but there will be a recording. So that gets me through all of the knitting. I'm going to take a sip of tea and then let's move on to spinning. Last week I showed you a braid of Targhee from Hello Yarn called Shadows Parted. It was quite a bit of dark, moody navies, a little bit of purple, and then it had some light sort of icier blue, and then a little bit of kind of a gold that ended up turning a little bit green with the others. And that is pretty much finished. It is still quite wet, so it is not as poofy as it is going to be. I expect Targhee is super poofy, and I expect that it will poof up quite a bit. My guess is this will be a probably closer to a sport weight yarn because of what it will do afterwards, and I am sure that I got 350 and I might be a little bit more, but I'm not sure. This will be up in the shop. It'll probably take me a day or two because it is still too wet to weigh and measure, so maybe tomorrow, but possibly not even till Wednesday. But that is a pretty good color representation. It is just dark and moody and lots of fun. So this will be up in the shop in the next day or two if you are interested. Which brings me to my next spin. I actually started the spin yesterday. This is a braid that I got at Flyaway, which was the spinning conference just earlier last end of April. Sorry, it's been a month. This is a braid from the Topeka Twister. That's Jessica, and she is a friend of mine. She's in my spinning group that I went to yesterday, and this is an 80/20 merino tussa silk in citrus blackberry tart. And it is lots of fun. It is pinks and purples and yellow and a little bit of brown and lots of white. And it is spinning up absolutely beautifully. This is the second 2 ounces. The first ounce is on the wheel, and the second ounce is already pre-drafted and ready to go so that I can finish that today. And I am hoping to finish this spin before Friday. So I am going to be working on this quite a bit this afternoon as well. This will also be a shop skein. So, and this braid has been a pleasure to spin. I have really enjoyed that. So it's just lots of fun, kind of summery colors. And I think it's going to be a nice, bright Barber Pole braid. That will be lots of fun. And the white kind of not dampens the colors, but it also gives it kind of an airy look. I really like how white kind of blends into a braid sometimes. So that is what I'm working on for this week. Like I said, today is tour day. I'm going to finish here, and then I'm going to take a bunch of photos, and then I hope craft the rest of the day. I don't think I'll get Hilda done by next Friday, but oh my goodness, if I could, that would be so great, and it would be great for my stash dash total because that's like 12 or 1300 yards. So I think that's my goal, is to try and finish. Maybe I can finish the sleeve on Hilda today and then work on the body tomorrow. I don't know. I'm really, really, really hoping. Even though I can't wear a warm sweater right now, I would really like to finish that and get moving with this summer. I have so many summer projects that I'm dying to do. I want to knit all the socks, and I have a whole bunch of baby knits and just all kinds of things to do. And I want to join a whole bunch of knit alongs. And I just want to knit everything right now. So, thank you for joining me. If this was your first time, I hope you enjoyed it. If you came back, thank you for spending time with me today. I so enjoy talking to all of you and showing you what I'm working on. I hope if you are in the US, you are enjoying this last day of freedom as a holiday, and before we head back to work tomorrow. And I hope that you have had a wonderful weekend regardless of where you live, and that you are having fun crafting. I will say, as I always do, until I see you again, happy knitting, happy spinning, happy sipping, and I'll see you next time. Bye!